it's a long comment. I don't know if you guys saw it on one of my videos, or actually, it's a comment to one of our clips. Okay, so the comment reads this: You guys are a lot more narrow minded than you think you are. The superiority complexes you guys have are just so obnoxious that it hurts my brain to listen to you guys. I don't even strongly oppose any of the views you guys express. The hypocrisy is just absurd. The narrative, people are stupid. This guy's spurging out because my video is titled People Are Retarded. The narrative, people are stupid. In reality, it's never been a complex drama. It's a sample solution and it's blank is the same ideology that's been recycled throughout all of history. The truth is that humans are not inherently sophisticated enough to govern effectively. There is no solution that will yield the results you desire. A government system will work for a period of time until corruption prevails and outrage spreads throughout the community and demands drastic reform. Y'all are clearly sick of all the growing support for ideologies that oppose your values and self interests and no longer want to deal with them. You no longer want the burden of the rest of society's interests, but that's simply impossible in the long run. If a monarchy formed that was oppositional to all your interests, like, hell, I don't know, an LGBTQ monarchy, you would instantly change your position. Even if a society filled with strictly like minded people, division would still occur and become more and more polarized throughout time. It's just human psychology. Democratic republics just tend to have better longevity. That's fucking horseshit. Democratic republics
Yeah.
just tend to have better longevity because everyone has a can influence change. Great grammar, dude. Without violent reform, which creates a lot more civil and less chaotic society. Of course, though, it's flawed as fuck too, and inevitably will be the catalyst for bureaucratic reform. The population is inevitably the largest contributor towards any reform. All government systems, for the most part, are only marginally better than others. So this guy's basically saying monarchy, just like he said in that last sentence there, it's hardly any better than any other system, and this is all too complicated to just simplify. To which
Uh,
my response is very simple. Don't give the people the kind of power that they've wielded for 200 years. The solution actually is kind of simple. The people don't know what the hell they're doing. Now, exactly what you do after that, after you revoke the power you gave the people, you can debate that, but can't we all agree the people don't know what they're doing? So it kind of is simple. Well, anyway, what do you guys think?
I cannot stand these people who try to make rather simple issues into these grand, complicated, F slurry, just like messes. Because that tells me of their intelligence that it's like you're unable to look at the fucking obvious. It's
Yeah.
like you can see with your own fucking eyes that there are some people. Actually, no, hold on. Sorry. Most people are not fit to engage in any sort of politics at all.
Mm-hmm.
Have the recent events not enlightened you at all on this fact? And not obviously not you guys, but the commenter who's saying that.
It's just a spurg out over like you called me stupid because I'm part of everybody. Well, apparently because you took such great offense to it. But like
Well,
the argument is the complete inverse of what the truth is. He's saying like this is more complicated than you guys are giving credit. Like actually it's quite simple. You just want it to be complicated because you want to keep all the benefits of democracy, which are just illusions anyway.
Well, this argument can also, it's a very slippery slope to the, oh, well, you can't strive for perfection, so why try for anything better at all? I get there's a bit of a stretch there, but when you really think about it, that's all those kind of arguments come down to. We can't, you can't achieve perfection. It'll never happen because humans are flawed, but because humans are flawed, and they'll just, no matter what, why do anything better then? Which I think we can all agree is complete bullcrap. We understand that, yeah, of course, humanity is flawed to its core and that corruption is inevitable. But why not then, if we believe in creating the best situations we can for the people around us and the people who come after us, why not have something in place that will combat that inevitability for the longest period of time possible, even if it will fail in the end?
Yeah,
Where, why?
yeah, I've never
I
made
don't know.
I've never made the
Sorry,
argument that monarchy is a perfect system. Like no one with a
and none of us will.
no one with a functioning brain makes that argument. There's no such thing as a perfect human system, but you can have the best system. That's the point. It's the best. Simple. Not only like it's not just simply the best system and history proves it, but it's also like just very simply, you don't give power to people that need to be ruled. If people didn't need to be ruled, we wouldn't have governments. We wouldn't have a such thing as leadership in general. In any situation, if people could be their own shepherds, it doesn't make any sense. Democracy, just on its face, doesn't make any sense. If you can rule yourselves, you don't need a government. So it's very simple. Just remove their power. You don't give power to children. You don't have children rule the household. Parents rule. Actually, really, the father rules.
Yeah. Scrivener, something you said, you were talking about, the kind of intelligence that commenter may have had. I do appreciate you, putting in the caveat of, you're obviously not talking about us and when referring to me in our curiosity, but me personally, I'm more than willing to admit, heck, I'm happy to admit that I'm not a particularly, bright person. Now, there's been times where I haven't been sure why I'm a complete retard or a genius, but that's really just the autism. I got to where I am at because I realized I am not all that bright. I'm average at best. I I can reconcile me being best suited to be amongst the plebs, but as long as we have a republic, any kind of democratic government, people like me and dumber get a say in how things are run. And this is the terrible assumption that the people actually have a say in what goes on and not that the people who are in power put the illusion of will of the people, whereas they, really just do whatever they want and are able to get away with it as long as they're able to keep the masses passive.
Yeah, honestly, I'm not all that smart either, tell you the truth. It's just I have gotten very good at noticing, I guess what that translates to is, but it more or less has to do with the fact that it's like, how the fuck do you people don't see any of this? Why does it feel like I'm the only one who actually notices or cares about this?
It really is just simple noticing. Just, okay, this is clearly not working. And for me, what really made me a monarchist was just looking at history. What lasts the longest? Monarchy. Even if you don't know how, you don't need big brains to just simply notice things on surface level. Okay, monarchy lasts the longest by far. Okay, doesn't that prove it works? You don't
Exactly.
have to be able to explain it. Maybe you even can't, but you can still notice. Just notice.
There tends to be certain patterns that people refuse to recognize, even though it is probably one of the more positive parts of human nature that we even have this ability of pattern recognition, and that it's able to extend to like this level.
Yeah. So yeah, I just wanted to read that comment. I just I found it funny. Found it kind of desperate. Like someone who's just part of the herd who desperately wants to convince themselves that they're not. Sorry, bro. Most
reminds me
people
of a
are.
lot of the people Reminds me a lot of the people that try to argue with me on X. It's like just people
I'm still
just
invisible on the internet.
Well, you don't
they're still
you
I'm
don't really
safe.
you don't really try to make yourself stand out any. What were you saying, Scurvy?
like they like how you were describing that that commenter. That's what I feel like a lot of people who try to argue with me are like. It's not that I'm not willing to accept when I'm wrong. It's more or less just like, well, I don't like. I don't think that's actually you trying to make. And I'm when I say you, I mean the person who's
Yeah.
trying to argue with me is trying to come up with anything truly compelling. Just saying stuff I've heard a million times, and so I'm just like, why should I bother? Why should I bother? So I really do get tempted to just be like a total asshole. I fall into that temptation before, and I've just because I got so fed up, you know, of just constantly having to talk with illiterate fucking people. That's a special fatigue I have is illiteracy fatigue.
It's astonishing, like when people like this appear, I just all I hear is denial. Like you're taking out your denial about something on me. Some aspect of reality that you don't want to accept but you know is true. You're taking it out on me. Maybe if you can make me feel bad or look bad or whatever the fuck, that the thing you're in denial about will end up not being true and you don't have to worry about it anymore. But like I said, it doesn't take a genius to notice what's wrong with our current world order. It just takes noticing. This doesn't work. Period. And, back to the argument of like elections.
He's dying because of it.
Yeah. Like
Quite literally.
with elections, the whole point of an election is, okay, clean out the people you don't want in there, the people you don't want to have power, and replace them with people you do want to have power. It's still not working. Again, doesn't take a genius, just fucking notice. And if you're going to argue with me about something, you're arguing with my noticing, okay? Not my claims to a genius intellect, okay? You're just challenging my noticing, and that's why I get annoyed with you. Like, get past the noticing. Explain to me why my noticing is wrong.
When it comes to people who just deny, I will get very fucking angry, and I feel like I will want to punch somebody's testicles out. But the thing is, at that point, if they just keep on denying, it's no use trying to argue with them. They're not going to concede on on whatever fallacy they believe. Usually, it's the just world fallacy. Are you familiar with what that one is? Basically, what it is, it's the presupposition, whatever. I think that's how you say that word. That everything is everything is fair, everything is equal. It's like, no, that's not the case. It's also when people argue just world fallacies, they also tend to have a massive case of Dunning-Kruger, but that's besides the point. Basically, that's usually where the denial comes from. They never encountered anybody with a dissenting opinion that does not have any sort of relation to this idea that we live in a completely fair and equal world. It's like, no, we don't. We don't live in a fair or equal world. We just don't. Some people are just better than others.
Yeah,
So,
that's
some of them are stronger, some of them are smarter, some of them are better looking.
yeah. Just name a
The
category.
world operates on a hierarchy.
Yeah, that's the problem. The problem with libertarianism is exactly that as well. Like it assumes the world is just naturally orderly, naturally just, naturally in order. Like everything you want out of life just happens. And it's these, like, they use the insult statist, which is the dumbest insult of all time, in my opinion.
Don't know what that means. They don't.
But they use it all the time. But it's because of statists that the world is not the way it should be. Like,
What is the way the world should be? You're sounding like a fucking communist.
they basically are communists without any authoritarian inclination. They're just like,
So
the
they're just
world
hippie.
would, basically, their worldview is the world would be communist if people just stopped being mean to each other. Yeah, awkward
man,
silence is correct.
I can't believe I actually used to believe in shit like that when I was younger.